This is Samurai Warfare Explained. I make videos about the tactics and weaponry of the samurai. Today we are going to be talking about the siege of Osaka Castle in 1615. This event marks the effective end of the Sengoku Jidai or the Warring States period and the beginning of the Edo Jidai or the Peace of Edo. The main reason for this was that the main players of the Sengoku Jidai like the Hojo, Uesugi, Takeda and Shimazu clans were all wiped out. The last major clans standing from this era were the Toyotomi, and they would also effectively be wiped out after the events of the siege of Osaka Castle. In 1600, the Battle of Sekigahara took place. This battle saw the Western Army led by Ishida Mitsunari defeated by the Eastern Army led by Tokugawa Ieyasu. Ieyasu would go on to found the Tokugawa shogunate, which would last over 250 years. In this battle, Ieyasu was aided by several retainers. One of the most powerful of these was the veteran general, General Date Masamune. After the battle, Ieyasu rewarded his retainers with land. He gave the most fertile and valuable lands to his son-in-law, Honda Tadataka, and his most trusted general, Yamanouchi Kazutoyo. However, there was one retainer who was not given any land. This man was the famous samurai, Sanada Yukimura. He was given a noble title and some money and was allowed to keep his fortune, but he was not given any land. He was rewarded in this manner because he had given Ieyasu a hard time during the battle. During the battle, Yukimura defended a key strategic point called the Magome-juku. It was a fort with a very strong defensive structure and it was very important to the Western Army. Yukimura defended this fort against a massive assault by Ieyasu's son, Honda Tadataka. Tadataka assaulted the fort multiple times throughout the day. But every attack was beaten back by Yukimura and his men. Tadataka even challenged Yukimura to a one-on-one sword duel. But Yukimura declined. Tadataka eventually ordered the fort to be burned to the ground, forcing Yukimura to retreat. Eventually, the entire Western Army was defeated and Yukimura was forced to flee. His military career ended at the Battle of Sekigahara. But he would have a second chance at glory at the siege of Osaka Castle. 5 years after Sekigahara, the Toyotomi clan was still a threat to Ieyasu and the Tokugawa shogunate. They were led by Toyotomi Hideori, the young son of the famous warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi. The main force of the Tokugawa shogunate was away on campaign. So Ieyasu put together an army of 80,000 men led by his four generals, including Honda Tadataka and Yamanouchi Kazutoyo, to deal with this threat. The bulk of the army consisted of the forces of these four generals, but several other daimyo also contributed forces to this army. One of these was the Date clan led by Date Masamune. Masamune and his son Masateru commanded an army of 6,000 men. When they reached Osaka Castle, they saw that the castle was strongly defended. The castle's defenders numbered between 10,000 to 30,000 men, making it one of the largest armies raised by the Tokugawa shogunate throughout this entire war. The siege lasted for 2 months. The first month was spent in preparation. Both sides prepared their forces and constructed siege engines and fortifications. The castle's defenders constructed multiple layers of defense outside the main castle walls. These included palisades, moats, barricades, trenches, and multiple layers of earth walls. The besiegers also constructed several large forts around the castle. From these forts, the besiegers would bombard the castle with cannons. In mid-November, the allied forces of the Date clan and the House of Yamauchi began an assault on the outer defenses of the castle. On the 14th, they breached the outermost defense, and the next day they breached the second line of defense. However, when they went to assault the third line of defense, they were repelled. At this point, the Allies decided to stop the assaults and instead focus on weakening the defenders through the winter. Throughout the winter, the besiegers continued to harass the defenders with their cannons. Throughout this time, the defenders were able to repel every assault. However, they were slowly weakened by the artillery fire. By March of 1616, the castle's defenses were broken and the battered remnants of the Toyotomi clan surrendered the castle. Yukimura fell in the battle and Masamune would later say that he fought like a lion. He died with honor. After the fall of Osaka Castle, the Tokugawa shogunate was secure and the Edo period would begin. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Also check out my video on the Battle of Sekigahara if you haven't already.